All right, so we must sketch this code function with all of these transformations. So before I do that, what does a regular code function even look like? A regular code function has an asymptote at y x equals to 0. Then it starts at the top. It looks similar to a reflected tan graph. This point over here, and then my first asymptote is at pi, which means my 0 is at pi over 2. My period of this is just pi. And then if you want to draw a second one, you can draw a second one like this. My next 0 here is at 3 pi over 2, and the second asymptote, or I guess the third asymptote, is at x equals 2 pi. So this is a regular code function. Now I want to transform this function based on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is my k value is 2. So my period is going to change to pi over 2. Remember, for a code function, your period is pi over k. So in this case, it's going to be pi over 2. Other things to note is that I have a reflection in the y-axis. So if I reflect this in the y-axis, it's going to flip. It's basically going to start at the bottom. It's similar to a reflection in the x-axis and then come to the top. I have a phase shift of pi over 8 to the right, and I have plus 1 as my vertical movement. The amplitude of 3 honestly does not matter in the sketch, so you don't need to worry about that value. So let's start with our sketch. For a code function, I always start with my first vertical asymptote, the one at x equals to 0. You have to start with this one. In this case, it's going to be shifted to the right by pi over 8. So my first vertical asymptote is at x equals pi over 8. Then you want to add your period to this and get your next vertical asymptote. So if I add pi over 8 to pi over 2, I will get 5 pi over 8. So my next vertical asymptote is at x equals 5 pi over 8. And if you wanted to draw another wave, you could add another pi over 2 to this. So that is going to be 9 pi over 8. Next, I'll do the midpoints of these two. So I'll add them, divide by 2, and that's going to be the x value of my key point over here. In this case, it's 3 pi over 8. And for this one, the midpoint is 7 pi over 8. The y value of the key point is shifted up by 1 unit in this case. I'm going to have a y value of 1, and these are my two key points. Now, normally a code graph starts from the top and goes down, but since I have a reflection in the y-axis, it's going to start from the bottom, go through my key point, and then end at the top. And the same pattern is going to follow infinitely in both directions. That's how you draw a code graph with different transformations.